moving on to the sixth thing I've learned, celebrating achievements, no matter how big or small, doesn't have to be a big thing. To make it an achievement, it can be as small as making yourself a cup of tea that morning. I mean, if that is a struggle for you day to day, being able to get up, being able to do that is brilliant. So that's a great achievement. You can give yourself a pat on the back for that if that is something you struggle with every day. And I find that that builds up positivity as well. I mean, it might sound daft. I mean, a cup of tea, that's hardly something to achieve. It absolutely is. If you're struggling with getting up out of your bed, if you're struggling with getting washed and brushing your teeth in the morning, if all you can do is brush your teeth, that's fantastic. And it's good for your body too. Your teeth will definitely thank you in the long run. And celebrating doesn't mean you have to go out to a restaurant with your family and say, "Woo, I did this thing today." It doesn't have to be like that. It could be the next time you're shopping, buying yourself your favourite packet of biscuits. Why not? Enjoy that with your cup of tea. That sounds really nice, actually. But definitely celebrate those small wins. It will build you up mentally and give you that bit of positivity that you need to maybe do another little something in your day. And how great would that be to do two things today that you didn't feel you could do yesterday? I mean, sure, that's fantastic. So, the seventh thing I learned, and this might be hard for some people to accept. I know people will be on either side of the fence on this one. Exercising, it is hard, but it is so worthwhile. Um, I know I'm lucky that I'm in a position that I can exercise fairly easily. It's more a mental thing with me, it's the getting in the mindset to do it. That's my main struggle. For other people, it is a physical struggle, maybe to do with weight, mobility, anything like those. And I totally understand. If you feel it's not something you're able to do. One thing I would say is that I had meddled in exercising. I had done it quite a few times in the past, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Always ended up hurting myself, and then missed a few days, and then I couldn't get back into it again. And I was just like, oh, well, what's the point? I'm only going to hurt myself again. Yes, you probably are going to hurt yourself again. I mean, it's hard to avoid. Let's be real about it. A couple of years ago, I had to go for a routine. I think it's called a DEXA scan, DEXA. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's a measurement of your bone density. And mine came back not very good at all. I have what's called osteopenia. Um, I think, as far as I understand it, osteopenia is what you would get before you would get osteoporosis. So my bone density isn't good at all. And they told me what I need to start doing is weight bearing exercises. Now, that's all well and good. No one told me what that was. I still don't totally understand it. I've looked online for advice, but what I ended up doing was I came across an app just by sheer fluke. I can't even remember how I came up about it. It's called Sworkit. I'll put it here, just in case you can't understand my accent. I'll put it here, and then you'll be able to see how to spell it if you're interested in getting it from the App Store. I'll also link it down in the description below. But I thought this app is exactly what I need. I had tried different apps before. I tried apps that were like hit apps, where you do, it was, the one I did before was 7 minutes of exercise, and I thought, oh well, 7 minutes isn't that long, how hard can it be? it absolutely wrecked me, to put it lightly. But with the Sworkit app, I find it really helped me build momentum. I'll put up a little video of the app as well, just to give you an example. But basically, what you're able to do in the app is, well, there's lots of different things you can do in the app, but the thing I like to do is use the search bar. Well, beside the search bar, there are filters. I always click on the filters, and based on how I feel that day, I will put in what part of my body I want to exercise. So I always start off with beginner, and then you can move on to what part of your body you want to work out. If you want to do strength exercises, stretching, rehab is also part of it. I would maybe do the rehab on days that I have hurt myself, and just want maybe to do some sort of gentle stretch to sort of give me a bit of mobility back. But the one thing I absolutely love about Sworkit, and I think you would love it too, is that you can do any time between 1 minute and 60 minutes. If all you can manage is 1 minute, they will give you exercises for 1 minute. You've done it. It gives you a little thing at the end that congratulates you for doing it. And I think that's brilliant. Just to be able to do that, and obviously other people are doing that too. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that feature. What I sort of did was started off lower to build momentum. I think I started off maybe at 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, worked my way up to 8 minutes, worked my way up to 10 minutes. Now I sort of do anywhere sort of between 8 and 15 minutes, depending on how I feel. But the good thing with the filters as well is you can choose where on your body you want to work out, whether it's your upper body, your lower body, your full body, your glutes, your legs. You can choose that. So if I am feeling sore in my legs, I'll do an upper body workout, and vice versa. So it's really good for that sort of thing. But I'd really like to know about your exercise routine. If you do exercise at all, if you don't, tell me why. I'd really love to know what you find difficult about it, or things you find to make it easier on yourself as well. So the eighth thing I learned, and for me by far this was the hardest lesson to learn, is acceptance. And by acceptance, I mean accepting, for me, that my conditions are lifelong, could potentially get worse, but if they're managed properly, they will sort of maybe be up and down, but it will be lifelong. Um, it has taken away things that I wanted in my life. For me, if you didn't watch my intro video, I have ulcerative colitis, endometriosis, and I was actually going to see about a diagnosis of ankylosing spondylitis, but I actually have something different, and I can't remember the name of what it is. Enteropathic arthritis, and something else, something to do with the joint in my pelvis. I can't remember the name, but I'll put the name here. You really have to get used to saying these words. It seems to be like one medication I've learned, they suddenly moved me on to another medication, and I have to learn how to say that as well. It's a bit of a nightmare. But with me having endometriosis, for example, endometriosis, if you don't know, I don't know if it affects different people differently, but I have cysts on both of my ovaries. They were actually started off quite large. I think the biggest one was about 8 centimeters. They have gradually come down over time, which is really good. That has been through a lot of medication, doing a lot of work over years that way. Um, but they've got down to a place where they're not so bad, thankfully. So with my colitis as well, they tell you not to try and get pregnant until you're not really having any issues so much with it. And I have had issues throughout the 10 years. It only settled down for a little while. It has settled down now a little bit, thankfully. Um, but it's constantly up and down, and I don't really know where I am half the time with it. Um, but knowing that I might never have a family of my own was an absolute heartbreaker for me. And because for me, that's all I've ever wanted is a family of my own and kids of my own. And I've had to accept that that might not happen. And that is, it's devastating, basically. Um, and I know that you will probably all have dreams that now can't be, or it's going to be difficult. But I have come, through all that struggling with, the concept that those things might not ever happen for me. I have come to a point of acceptance, and I'm able to sort of move on with my life. I mean, I'll always have those thoughts of what I would love to have, but acceptance, it is probably the hardest lesson I've had to learn in this whole journey. The ninth thing I've learned, supportive relationships, if you have them around you. I mean, I am very lucky to have very, very supportive family. Some of you won't have anybody. And I mean, that is a shame. Hopefully, if you don't have family, you have friends that are supportive of you. Um, but what I really want to say is that unsupportive relationships, get rid. Just get rid, because it is not worth the time, the little energy you might have is better not spent on people that are going to bring you down, or the people that don't want to understand what you're going through, or call you names, call you lazy, um, call you fat if you can't exercise, call you all different names and say things that are only negative. Definitely put your time and energy into the people that matter and the people that truly care about you. So that brings us on to the last thing that I have learned. I've learned a lot of things. There's a lot more than 10, trust me. But the 10th thing is to appreciate the little things. It can be as little as having a conversation with a neighbour, listening to your favourite music, making yourself a really, really nice meal, or having your favourite snack. Actually, one thing I've been doing recently, I can't have gluten or dairy because of my conditions. I'm intolerant. So they don't agree with my tummy, to say the least. But actually, a member of my family said to me last week, like, "Have you ever tried a dairy-free yogurt?" And I hadn't, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go. So I went down to the supermarket and got this dairy-free yogurt, and it was one of the natural ones. And I had it with some honey, some nuts, and banana. And I sat down at night to watch TV and started eating that. I was just like, "This is bliss. This is just lovely." But it just appreciating those little things that a lot of people, don't think about day to day. Making yourself a cup of hot chocolate every once in a while, buying yourself a nice wee bar of chocolate, or having a glass of wine if you're able to. Just the little things in life that we often miss out on. I think those are really worth taking notice of and appreciating that little bit more. So if you've made it to this point, thank you very much for watching. So I'd really love to know how your illness, disability, injury, or otherwise has affected you, and what you've learned along the way. I'd really love you to tell me down in the comments. Or perhaps you've had to learn to live life completely differently for different reasons. I'd be really interested to know about that too, so let me know. And until next time, make sure to take care of yourself, make yourself a cup of tea, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.